Hey everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome to another episode of our WWE 2K16 Universe Mode. This is our next episode of Thunder, and the last episode of Thunder until we get to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view this weekend. And straight after that Money in the Bank pay-per-view, we only have 2 weeks until we hit Elimination Chamber as well, so it's going to be a very busy 4 weeks here for Thunder. As you can see, I've already simmed a couple of the matches because I completely buggered up what I was doing, so I've had to restart it, so I do apologise for that. We've missed nothing major. One thing that has happened, if you haven't seen the Global Cruiserweight Championship from last weekend, we did do a rather big trade with Thunder and SmackDown. So, Thunder have given away Savio Vega, Brian Pillman, Eddie Guerrero, Johnny Gargano, and Drago. So those 5 now have moved to SmackDown, all because they're going to be part of the Cruiserweight division. So that again was Savio Vega, Brian Pillman, Eddie Guerrero, Johnny Gargano, and Drago. Those 5 are now gone to SmackDown. In their swap, or in their place, leaving SmackDown, coming to Thunder, is the Wyatt family. So that's Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, Erick Rowan, and Braun Strowman. Those 4 have joined Thunder, and that's going to be a massive landslide change for Thunder. We've got some really interesting people there. A brand new tag team in Rowan and Strowman, a brand new upper mid-card potential champion in Luke Harper, and somebody who I think will definitely be looking to be involved in that Elimination Chamber next month, in course, in Bray Wyatt. So that's going to be interesting. So matches we got tonight, we've got Dean Ambrose versus Sheamus. We've already skipped this one. It was Nikki Bella versus Naomi, and it was a win for Nikki Bella. Randy Orton versus X-Pac, and that's going to be one of the matches we are going to watch tonight. We skipped the rivalry match between the New Day and Decay. This is mainly because we've seen this match a few times over the past few weeks, and we are going to see the exact same match on Sunday as well. It was a victory for the Decay over the New Day, so that's going to be interesting because both these teams now have really built up themselves. They've both got about equal momentum and hot streaks and all that sort of stuff, so it really could go either way on Sunday. We also skipped the Fighting Irish, Ken Shamrock and Fit Finlay defeating the Outsiders, a massive win for them. Now this is an interesting one. Eric Bischoff, you know he likes to turn the screws a bit, doesn't he? Of course, he's the general manager here for Thunder. He's decided to team up Hulk Hogan, the Thunder champion, and the number 1 contender for the Thunder Championship, Matanza to face off against the debuting Thunder wrestlers of Erick Rowan and Luke Harper. So that could be very interesting what happens there. That could really just implode that team. And the main event was going to be Pentagon versus Fandango, which we are going to skip. And, of course, that is a victory for the United States champion, Pentagon. So that leaves us with 3 matches. We've got the tag team match. We've got Randy Orton versus X-Pac. And, firstly, Dean Ambrose versus Sheamus. So let's start the show. And here we go. As promised, our first match is going to be Dean Ambrose, the number 1 contender for the United States Championship, taking on Sheamus. And here we go, both guys in the ring, ready to go. Oh, and we've seen this cutscene far too often. I wish they would allow us to, put our own cutscenes in, really, because at the moment, it's just a bit annoying, really, because we're just seeing the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again. So, I just would like to be able to control it a bit more, because this cutscene at the moment seems to be coming once every show at least. I've seen one show we did where the same cutscene happened 3 times and all 3 of the rivalry matches were a little bit annoying. But let's see how this one pans out anyway. So Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose. So now we have the match underway. The number 1 contender in Dean Ambrose taking on Sheamus. Now I've got a feeling if I just get my crap together. But last week we actually saw Sheamus versus Pentagon. So I'm just going through my booklet now. Yes, no. Yes, we did. Last week was Sheamus versus Pentagon, and Pentagon Jr. pulled out the victory over Sheamus. So I'm sure, you know what, we buggered this up again, haven't we? I need to look through my pad before I start making the show, because we were supposed to have a Women's Championship match tonight. So we are going to have to do that next week. Yeah, they're going to have to do that next week, I think. After our... or maybe we could do it at Elimination Chamber. That match, of course, is going to be Sexy Star versus Rosemary for the Thunder Women's Championship. Right hand to the gut there by Dean Ambrose. Yeah, so we'll probably do that. Yeah, so last week, Pentagon Jr. defeated Sheamus one-on-one. I'm pretty sure we saw the exact same cutscene last week. I can't honestly remember. I've been trying to get a lot of these videos recorded as soon as I possibly can because I am going away. Well, I'm actually away right now when this video is uploaded. I'm actually recording this a week in advance just to try and make sure that I still get all my videos uploaded for you guys while I am away. So I'm a little bit confused now. Just there's been too much stuff going on. I've been recording so much Fallout 4, so much Football Manager, so much WWE. Oh, I'll tell you what, the weekend just gone, I think I was awake for 20 hours on Saturday, just doing nothing but recording on one computer while editing on the other. It was absolutely incredible. I recorded so much stuff. And yeah, I think I might have to start cutting down again soon because I've got to a point now where I'm just doing too much again. Sort of takes over your life after a while. I think I'm about the only YouTuber that puts out consistently 2 videos a day. That's probably why. Sheamus now with Dean Ambrose on his shoulder, looking for the white noise, and he hits it very early on to hit that move as well. It's an impacted one. There's the pin. Is it going to be quite enough to take down the #1 contender? No, it's not. But there wasn't a lot left in Dean Ambrose there when he kicked out of that. That seemed like it could have been the end of Dean Ambrose. If Sheamus can hit one more high-impact move, such as that right there, the bro kick, and he launched Dean Ambrose into it, this is going to be an incredibly quick match here, and Sheamus... No, Dean Ambrose once again kicked out. I can't believe that Dean Ambrose kicked out of that, and the white noise and the bro kick. It's just incredible. It just shows what sort of mind that Dean Ambrose is in the moment. He's so intent on getting this United States Championship. He's been trying and trying and trying for it all universe mode. He really has. He fought against Bad News Barrett for it, and then when Bad News Barrett lost the belt to Pentagon Jr. at Fun It Invades Lucha Underground, all of a sudden Ambrose just turned his sights to Pentagon Jr. And it'd be interesting to see what happens. Be interesting to see what happens on Sunday as well, because you've got to think that if Dean Ambrose does not win the United States Championship, would he be in a very good position to potentially be... Would he be in a potential position to be in that Elimination Chamber to actually go for the Thunder Championship instead? We know he's good enough to do so. He's already been in a match for that before. Dean Ambrose now, big DDT. And we're not far away now, are we, from the actual draft itself? And I'm thinking, I'm toying with the idea of once the draft does happen, for us to try and mimic it and see what we can do with the rosters that WWE build up. And I think that might be a good idea, actually. And by only running 2 rosters, we can probably get through the universe mode a lot quicker. We can get through a month in like a week or 2, rather than a whole month, maybe. We'll see how we feel as we go on, because we've done quite a few episodes of this now. I think by the time we get to where the draft is, we'll have about 25 episodes of each of these in the bag. So maybe just for the last few months of 2K16, we can just mimic the mimic the new rosters and see just how we can get on with that. Because there's going to be a lot of surprise returns by the sounds of it. There's going to be quite a lot of NXT promotions as well. So it's going to be interesting to see exactly what is going to happen. People touted around such as Carlito and Rey Mysterio, MVP. I know John Morrison was one as well that we're looking at, but I'm assuming that John Morrison might have the same issue as Ricochet, because Ricochet is contracted with Lucha Underground, although his contract has just expired at the end of taping season number 3. However, Ricochet is not allowed to work for any company in America that's televised until the last episode of season 3 has been put out, which would probably be, I think they reckon, around about end of January next year, early February. So that could be a bit of a problem. But maybe that could be the same for John Morrison as well. I'm hoping not. And it just makes you think that if if they're going around and they're looking to bring in ex-talents to build the rosters back up, it makes you think to yourself, why on earth did you get rid of Damien Sandow? He would have thrived in this situation of getting more opportunities. Why on earth did you let Cody Rhodes go? Because he would have been one of the top guys. I understand that Cody Rhodes has desires in wrestling away from WWE. He wants to compete in the Battle of Los Angeles. He wants to wrestle certain indie wrestlers. But if you give him the opportunity and said you could put him in the main event of one of the brands, I think he would have taken it. Again, Dean Ambrose kicking out of the white noise. But at the moment, Sheamus has just dominated this match from start to finish, really. Apart from a little bit of aggression that Ambrose got in the middle, distracted by Pentagon. Now Sheamus, there's a second bro kick. And Dean Ambrose, I think if I was Dean Ambrose, I'd just let this count go anyway, because you need to live to fight another day, and that is what's happened. Whether Ambrose wanted to stay down or not, he has stayed down. That's the big thing. And Sheamus has taken Ambrose apart here and picked up the victory. And what situation does that put Sheamus in as well then? Does Sheamus look to potentially become an outsider for going for the United States Championship next month? Or maybe are you looking at potentially Sheamus being involved in that Elimination Chamber match for the Thunder Championship as well? That could happen. So that's going to be the interesting thing to look at. I think, I don't know, obviously for Nitro we've not done qualifiers, we've just named the 6 that are going to be in there. I'm thinking Thunder we could do. Of course, we did do an Elimination Chamber with SmackDown a few months ago, or a few weeks back, sorry, and we did do qualifiers, and we ended up with quite a few of the strongest ones being knocked out before the actual Elimination Chamber. It created a different match, an interesting match, but maybe it might be wiser to put certain people in there and then maybe let some fight it out for the last couple of spots, maybe. Who knows? We'll see how we get on. Maybe we can like guarantee 4 spots and then we can do like a couple of 6-man battle royals to confirm the last 2 maybe, and just try and get a couple of wild cards in the match. So that is bad for Ambrose. 2 losses in a row means that he now has a cold streak. That's really going to affect him. Sheamus gained himself a hot streak. He's been doing pretty well. And yeah, it's not looking good for Ambrose going into that match against Pentagon on Sunday at Money in the Bank. And here is our second match of the evening. It is going to be Randy Orton taking on X-Pac. A chance to see both these guys. Not seen much of them so far in this universe mode, so be interesting to see just what happens here. You would imagine that Randy Orton would be the favourite to win this one. He is one of the top guys on the roster. He just doesn't seem to have really taken the opportunities when they've come to him, which is a bit of a shame, really. Of course, in that very first elimination, we had an Elimination Chamber on our very first episode of Thunder, and it was absolutely mental, especially with Randy Orton glitching through the world many ways. Randy Orton got sucked through time and space during that match, and he still didn't manage to do it. I'm sure Randy Orton will be the favourite here against X-Pac. And it's a great chance for Randy to show everyone that he deserves to be in this Elimination Chamber next month as well. Because at the moment, I think he would probably get in there just on his reputation, but at the moment he's not really been fantastic in this universe mode. And for those of you out there, I was reading some news earlier, and it is very much regarded that Randy Orton will return in August. He's been booked for live shows in August, and rumour has it that he's going to be back in August. Maybe even back for the draft on SmackDown. Obviously that's going to be... Because if they're saying he's going to be back in August, they might as well bring him back for that draft, and they might as well just, if he's not 100% fit, X-Pac wrestle on this game. I don't think I've used him at all as yet. I've used him as a manager for some of the other guys. Of course, he's got the full D-Generation X entrance and attire. However, we used him as part of the NWO. Maybe we should have used him as part of DX. One thing that frustrated me about this game, it made no sense at the time as well because of what happened. Obviously, we were given Billy Gunn, we were given X-Pac, we were given Triple H, an Attitude Era version, and Shawn Michaels. However, we weren't given a Road Dogg. Both Billy Gunn and Road Dogg were working for WWE at the time. They were both working as road agents. Billy Gunn then failed a drugs test and ended up leaving the company, and Road Dogg stayed. So it's also almost like now that Billy Gunn, Road Dogg would have made more sense to be in there. But there you go. I'm interested to see what the roster's going to be like for 2K17, to tell the truth. Because that could be really interesting. Especially if they're still touting they're going to have a bigger roster once again. I'm hoping this year they really give us a full-on NXT roster. Because last year's NXT roster was good. It was a lot better than what it was the year before. But it was still quite damp, wasn't it, really? Wasn't what we were expecting. And if you think that this year we could have American Alpha, we could have Austin Aries, Shinsuke Nakamura, Apollo Crews, obviously not NXT now, but and especially the women's division as well, having people like Nia Jax and Bayley, Alexa Bliss, and a few others as well that I just think it would make a lot more sense. Asuka, obviously, and I think that would be pretty good. I know from what I read around about WrestleMania time that 2K were at WrestleMania doing scans for the new game. Of course, Doc Gallows and Kyle Anderson were backstage for WrestleMania, so I would imagine that they would be in there. I'm imagining that we'll probably get AJ Styles as a member of the roster, and Gallows and Anderson might end up being DLC. I hope they don't, but I just see 2K trying to con us out of money. Saying that, I'm talking about them trying to con us out of money. Of course, I have pre-ordered a lot of stuff for my PlayStation towards the end of this year. I pre-ordered about 850 quid's worth of games, and of course the virtual reality as well, which is a little bit crazy, I know. But one of the things I have pre-ordered is Final Fantasy VII, the remake, and I found out about that now that it's going to be released as an episodic game. But the first game is like 50 quid. So does that mean that every single part of the game we're going to have to pay an extra 50 quid for? So that could end up being a real rip-off. But because originally the Final Fantasy VII game on PlayStation 1, of course, was across 3 discs. It was that massive of a game. And now you think that they've improved the graphics to HD graphics and all that sort of stuff. So it's going to be a lot bigger game. But yeah, they're releasing it in such tiny parts by the looks of it. Oh, wait to see what happens, because there's no release date on that yet. But yeah, just keep an eye on the channel, of course, towards the end of the year. There's going to be a lot, and I mean a lot of stuff going on. I've got all these brand new games coming out. I do intend playing a little bit of all of them on camera as well, just to show you guys if you are interested. I think the first one is going to be No Man's Sky, which comes out at the beginning of August, and there's Randy Orton catching the flying X-Pac into the RKO, and this could be the end. Randy Orton here, essentially, no. I was going to say essentially being given like a build-up match, a bit like what happened to Ryback when he came in. They gave him loads of really random opponents for the first few weeks, first few months, to try and put him over. And that's what Randy needs to do. He needs to get a few back-to-back victories in the bag, and once he does that, his momentum will build in such a way that it will become unstoppable as time goes on. Bloody hell. So I'm burning an incense stick at the moment. It's making me choke a little bit. Angle slam there by Randy Orton. Of course, Kurt Angle, a new member to the SmackDown roster a few weeks back. Randy Orton stamping on the knee of X-Pac. Good old Sean Waltman. Spent a bit of time in China as well, I believe. Kick into the gut of X-Pac. Randy brings him back up to his feet now. What can Randy do? He has dominated the majority of this match. He's going to go for another T-bone. And he hits it again. He just needs to finish X-Pac off, though. Because at the moment, he's just doing more and more damage. He needs to hit that another big high-impact move. Of course, he caught him with the RKO already. Boots the face of X-Pac as well. Is that enough damage for Randy to keep him down? 1, 2... and 3 it is. Randy Orton systematically takes X-Pac apart. And that could be the win that really sparks Orton into life in this universe mode. He needs something, because like I said, at the moment, he's been a little bit stale. He's struggling a little bit. Not much has happened for him. And this could be the one that really sparks him into life. Of course, we do have Elimination Chamber now coming up in 3 weeks' time. And I'm sure Randy will be looking to be involved in that. But then again, remember, we have the Money in the Bank this Sunday. I have no idea what's going to happen. I've got no idea who the game is going to have in there. Who knows? Randy Orton could end up getting the briefcase. Randy Orton could get the Money in the Bank briefcase. And then, of course, he can cash it in whenever he so wants to. And that could be very interesting. There was the RKO from the dive from X-Pac. And you see here just Randy Orton just kicking each individual body part, just taking X-Pac apart. Into the pin he goes. And that was enough to keep Sean Waltman down. So Randy Orton does pick up a victory. Probably one of the first I think we've seen him do in this universe mode. And I'm sure it'll be the first of many now. Now that he's got a taste of victory, I'm sure we won't be able to stop the guy. And of course, Money in the Bank coming up. He could be involved in that, but I think he'll definitely have himself a place in the Elimination Chamber a couple of weeks afterwards. And here we go with our final match of the evening. It's going to be an interesting one as Matanza Cueto, the #1 contender for the Thunder Championship, teams up with the Thunder champion Hulk Hogan. Those two have been feuding now for a good few weeks to take on the team of Erick, Rowan and Luke Harper. And here we go, straight away Hogan tagging himself into the match. He wants to be in control of this one. Matanza's not happy here. See, Matanza's a bit of a wild card. He's the sort of guy who will go on and he will destroy anything in his place, anything in his way, and I think he'll definitely want to win this match. So he might just coincide along with Hogan for this one. As we see Luke Harper and Erick Rowan make their first appearances here in Thunder. Be interesting, of course, we are going to see the debut of Bray Wyatt pretty soon as well. I'm pretty sure that Bray Wyatt will be very intrigued to get himself a position in that Money in the Bank. Or especially for Elimination Chamber. Pin for Hogan after the leg drop on Erick Rowan. Is it going to be enough? It's not. And look at this, Hogan going for a tag, and Matanza drops off the apron, and Matanza's out of it. Matanza Cueto leaving Hogan to fight this match 2-on-1 on his own. I don't know why Hogan's struggling so much. He just hit a leg drop. He hasn't taken any damage so far, but I think 2-on-1 now against Erick Rowan and Luke Harper is going to be very, very difficult for Hogan. Of course, if Hogan does lose this match, he will also lose all of his momentum. He will lose all of his hot streaks and everything. And of course, Matanza defeated Hogan last week as well, so a win here for Hogan would probably give Hogan a cold streak as well. But Hogan so far doing well here against Luke Harper, a man who was very close himself to winning the SmackDown Championship in an Elimination Chamber. So maybe Luke Harper can be someone we look at to potentially be one of our wild cards into that Elimination Chamber. I'm thinking we might give out 4 places of that Elimination Chamber, and then probably we'll have to allow a couple of people to qualify. A couple of people we're not 100% sure on, maybe. But then again, we can probably fill it up. Obviously, we'll have the champion. Probably Mil Muertes. Probably Randy Orton after his performance this evening. Sheamus has done very well this evening as well. We've got to think about guys like Cactus Jack and Kevin Nash as well, of course. I think we'll have to have a look and see what happens. It's all going to depend on what happens this Sunday, of course, at Money in the Bank. As Hogan again with a leg drop. This time on Harper. The last one was on Rowan. There's the pin. Rowan is slow across, but he does manage to get there just in time to break up the pin. And so far, even though it's 2-on-1 for the Wyatt family against Hogan, so far Hogan has dominated this match from start to finish. Harper now sending Hogan into the corner. Spins him round. Taking Hogan up onto the top turnbuckle. And of course, just while I've got you, of course, be sure to keep an eye out for SmackDown tomorrow. We're going to be seeing a lot of first appearances on SmackDown, of course, since our Global Cruiserweight Championship finale last weekend. We've gained at least another 16 guys onto the roster, plus all the guys they've traded for. Of course, we know they've traded for quite a few guys from Thunder. So be sure to keep an eye out for that tomorrow. That's going to make things very, very interesting. And I'm looking forward to that one. I'm going to have to look forward to it. I'm going to have to record it straight after this just to keep on track. Hogan now has Luke Harper in the tree of woe. And tell you what, the Wyatt family aren't doing too well here. Hogan's dominated the majority of this match, which is quite amazing, really, considering it's 2-on-1. Matanza Cueto leaving Hogan to fight this one on his own. But I think as soon as the Wyatt family can turn this one around, I think this will be all over. I think as soon as they get the upper hand, there's no way Hogan's going to turn it back around 2-on-1. Surely not. Luke Harper's going to go back to the potentially a superplex again, taking Hogan up onto that top rope. Yeah, looks like he could be going superplex again. Oh, sorry, super fall-away slam, shall I say. And hits it perfectly. And Harper now going to bring in his tag team partner for the evening, Erick Rowan. See, I still think even when... well, it's going to happen now, isn't it? Because I think the Wyatt family are back, apart from Harper, who's still out injured now for a couple of months. But I think we should have Rowan and Strowman as the tag team. Because I see Harper being able to go for singles titles on his own. I see Harper as a potential world champion, you know, I really do. I'm a massive fan of Luke Harper. Of course, Brody Lee on the indie scene. And again, these two guys going high, and this time Hogan is superplexed off the top. That's 2 super fall-away slams and a superplex now Hogan has taken. Surely he can't have a lot left in the locker, surely. He's getting demolished here. Rowan now bringing Hogan back up to his feet. Hogan sending Rowan into the corner. And our snake eyes on Rowan. Hogan again bringing Rowan back up, and he went for the big boot. Rowan avoids it and catches Hogan with that big spinning heel kick. That, of course, is Rowan's finisher maneuver. And it is... No, it's not. Referee, your hand hit the mat 3 times there. It really did. This would be a massive victory. This would be for Harper and Rowan, you know. Their debut here... I know it's technically 2-on-1, but the history books will show a victory over Hulk Hogan and Matanza Cueto. So it's the history books would really be in their favour. Could it take a big tag team move to finish off Hogan here? They hit the 3D. The 3D hitting by the Wyatt family. Luke Harper straightens the pin. Erick Rowan stands there over the fallen soul that is Hulk Hogan. And the Wyatt family's Luke Harper and Braun... Nope. Erick Rowan, shall I say. Pick up the victory. Great victory for them. Of course, it was a tag team match to start off with. Matanza was in the ring to start things off. And I suppose Hogan brought it on himself. Matanza started this match. Hogan slapped him on the back and tagged himself in. And then when Hogan needed Matanza, Matanza dropped off the apron and left Hogan to it. A sort of thing like, well, you tagged yourself in because you thought you could do it, and I'm going to let you do it. Matanza left him. And it was a clever move for Matanza because he barely wrestled at all this evening. He knows he's going on to face off against Hogan at Money in the Bank on Sunday. Hogan's now faced off in a 2-on-1 match, whereas Matanza's basically had the night off. So it's been a great idea for Matanza. Not only that, no, but the Hogan lost his match last week, and he's lost his match this week, which means he will gain a cold streak from 2 successive losses, which is going to really help Matanza just even more at Money in the Bank, because he's going to have the momentum bonus as well as just the sheer power bonus, because we know Matanza's already defeated Hogan twice, 1-on-1 this month. Actually, I think both times that Hogan and Matanza have met 1-on-1, Matanza has won. So it's not looking good for Hogan. But who knows? He could pull it out the bag at Money in the Bank this weekend. It's going to be an interesting one. We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. But it's going to be very, very fun finding out. Of course, Money in the Bank is going to be shared between Thunder and Raw. Don't know who's going to be in the ladder match yet, but I'm sure it's going to be very, very fun finding out. Well, anyway, guys, that is the end of this episode. I hope you have enjoyed it. Of course, if you have, then be a star and hit that like button for me. It'd be fantastic. And, of course, if you are new around here and you have enjoyed what you've watched, which you probably have if you got this far, then please hit that subscribe button as well, because it really does help me out to gain subscribers. I'm so gutted because I was so close to getting 2,500, and then YouTube had their subscriber purge where they got rid of all the dormant accounts. I lost about 150, and now we're back down to 2350, and I'd really like to get to that 2,500 mark before 2K17 comes out. I don't know. It doesn't really matter, really, does it? But I just like to. I want to hit that. I want to hit that landmark. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've been Shabby Gamer, and I'll see you all tomorrow for that very interesting episode of SmackDown.